All right, hello everyone. Thanks for having us. Just to start off, I do want to thank Proximum Group, Maxine, Deborah, the whole Paris Space Week team for having us here. It's an honor to be here. So just a round of applause for them, I think. It's fantastic. And the other thing, before we get started, we're going to do one thing. I'm going to ask you to trust me. It's going to make sense at the end, I promise. So if it's okay with everyone, I want to take a quick selfie. So put your hands up. You can smile. You don't have to smile. Just do whatever you want to do. But it's going to make sense at the end, so just trust me, yeah? All right, excellent. Thank you for that. So my name is Simran Singh, or just Sim for short. I'm the co-founder and CTO of InspireFLY. And today I'm here to talk to you about Content Cube and screen technology in space. All right, so what's the problem? So access to space is expensive, and the issue is a lot of people want it. A lot of people are making CubeSats. They're doing a lot of things to get to space. There's astronomers here on Earth looking up at the sky. You know, children lay down in their yards at night and look up at the stars. A lot of people wish they could go to space. A lot of people wish they could have access to space. It's expensive to make satellites. It's expensive to get a spot on a launch vehicle. So what is Content Cube going to do? So InspireFLY is making Content Cube. Content Cube is going to demonstrate the first external display screen in space. As far as we know, we have screens in space today. They're on the ISS, they're on spacecraft, but there are no external display screens, and we think that's the future. So Content Cube is essentially a demonstrator for the first external display screen in space. We're using a CubeSat platform specifically because it's inexpensive, it's robust, it's reliable. Our team has experience with it. And for these reasons, we're going to use that. We're going to launch the first external display screen in space. Content Cube has a deployable boom that you see here. There's a camera on the end of it, and we're going to be able to take photographs of the screen with Earth in the background, almost like a selfie style. I'm sure you can kind of see where this is going with the selfie I took earlier. And with that, we're looking to validate using the external display screen in space. So here's our leadership team. They're actually here today. Ben and Matt are sitting there. We have other members from our team here today. I'm an aerospace engineer. Ben's an aerospace engineer. Matt's a computer scientist. We have quite a bit of experience doing this. We've worked on CubeSat missions in the past. We've done fundraising. We have over 80 full-time members. Unfortunately, we couldn't bring all of them to Paris Space Week. We tried our best, but we've worked together for a little over a year and a half. And InspireFLY is the company that we started. So let's see here. So traction and momentum. So we started in about late 2018. Within our first couple of months, we'd already partnered with Lockheed Martin and with NASA, as well as the Ecuador Space Agency and the Irvine CubeSat STEM program in California. A few months after that, last September, we won the Astronis CEDSat2 competition. That's a national competition to design a novel 1U CubeSat. We pitched Content Cube there, won first place, and we secured a fully funded launch. So we have the launch, and now it's up to us to raise the development funds to actually fund and build the satellite. So in terms of space tourism, it's a rapidly growing market. As of 2016, it was valued at just under $12 billion with a compounded annual growth rate of just over 9%. When it comes to space science and tech, that's kind of the other parallel that we draw with space tourism, where screens we think can be applied. That's also rapidly growing every year. More and more universities, more and more individuals, more and more companies are building CubeSats, building satellites, nanosatellites, and conducting research, science, tech demonstrations, etc. So we've used screens here on Earth. I'm going to wait just a little bit.
Dear guests, the museum is now closing. We invite you to move toward the nearest exit. Thank you.
Well, I'll try and make this quick then. All right. So screens, we use them here on Earth, right? We all have phones, we have tablets, computers, we have TVs. But the thing is, the space tourism industry that's currently budding and the space science and research industries have yet to benefit from breakthrough screen technologies. And that's what we're looking to change. So again, when it comes to this, there's over 8 billion screens here on Earth, right? There's maybe 8 people in space. It's a 1-to-1 ratio here on Earth. But as we grow to be an extraterrestrial species, interplanetary species, screens are this technology that humanity is dependent on, and we're going to need to innovate it and evolve to bring it with us as we move to Moon, to Mars, and to other planets and beyond. So the future that we see here is a three-pronged future. We see screens being used in space tourism. We see them being in space science and tech, as well as space-based social and visual media. So to tie this all together, essentially what's happening is we're using Content Cube to demonstrate the first external display screen within the next year to year and a half. We're launching in Q3 of 2021. After that, in the next 2 to 5 years, we're looking at incorporating these screens after we have them functioning in space into astronaut spacesuits, so they can use them on spacewalks for the ISS. And then after that, in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, with space tourism, we'll be able to use these screens as on your phones, on tablets, and on computers, so that when you go to space, when you take a ride with Virgin Orbit or Virgin Galactic, and you take a suborbital ride, or maybe you take a little cruise trip with your family in 10, 15, 20 years to the moon and back, you'll be able to have these screens right in the palm of your hand. So why now? Well, about 100 years ago or so, the aviation industry started, and people would not have imagined that today, you would be flying millions of miles, billions of miles every year. Almost everyone here has probably flown an airplane. You probably flew on one to get here. But the big thing is, with the advance of the aviation industry, all this technology that was created due to that start of that industry is kind of an analogous to the translation between screens and the space tourism industry. So that's the parallel we're looking to capitalize on here. So what we're looking for is $100,000 to fund Content Cube as this first demonstrator of technology in space for the external display screens. And from there, we'll be able to work with NASA, with astronauts, and then eventually take it to space tourism as well. And the selfie we took earlier could very well be one of the first ones on our satellite. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Could you just describe in lay language what you really want to do? I mean, I didn't get it.
Okay. So what we're looking to do is demonstrate external display screens in space. Right now, the only screens that are in space are perhaps inside the ISS or inside spacecraft, and there's never been one exposed to the space environment. Does that make sense? And so we're looking to test on the outside, where they're exposed to the space environment, exposed to the temperatures of space, the pressure or lack thereof of space, and this change as we go from the ground to space, and really developing this robust technology that we can use. It could be used here on the ground, but the important part is it could be used in the environment of space. Any other questions?